Liverpool are set to complete the signing of Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth. He's on his way to Merseyside. That was reported 6 hours ago from Fabrizio Romano to complete his medical. Here we go has already happened, which now leaves them with 3 new players already at the start of the window. We're not even in July yet, with Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez. And today I'm going to show you guys how Liverpool could look and line up next season with the new signings, of course, that they've just made, and the potential signings as well, because they're still linked to the likes of Mark Gahey, they're linked to the likes of Isak. They're also talks about them selling Luis Diaz, so maybe they'll go into the left wing market. It's I can't lie, it's looking peak. I can't lie, it's looking peak if they could get I mean, the signings they've made already this summer have been unreal. They're probably, I mean, I would still probably edge at City, but I reckon, I'll edge at City. But so far, them two have had their 2 best windows for sure in the Premier League. Had the 2 best windows. City signing Reinders, Cherki, and Aït-Nouri, and them signing Kerkez, Wirtz, and Frimpong is definitely the 2 best summer transfer windows so far in the Premier League. But yeah, this is obviously coming from Fabrizio. Let me just get this up. He has released it here. Milos Kerkez and his family on the way to Merseyside. I'm not actually sure where they were. Was he on a holiday or something? Because I mean, maybe he do get a plane from Bournemouth to Liverpool, but I don't know. Was it? I don't know. The first exclusive picture of the left back as Liverpool player will transfer due to be signed and sealed on Tuesday, and today's Monday, so it's by tomorrow you will have this announced, completely signed, sealed, delivered. And here is the here we go. If I get it up real quick. There you go. Sorry, yeah, I don't think it. Milos Kerkez, Liverpool. Here we go. Plan for May is confirmed and is all agreed between clubs. £40 million transfer fee, long-term deal on Kerkez set for medical in upcoming days. Kerkez to Liverpool, never in doubt. That is fucking annoying. That is very annoying because that was a player I wanted at Manchester United. But let's get straight into it. So starting off in goal, I know they've signed that young goalkeeper as well. He's another player. I think they signed him last summer, though, but he's coming in this summer. Mamardashvili from Valencia. Actually quite highly touted. I've seen some people actually say good things about him. However, I've never... I think he was like the goalkeeper of the Euros or something along those lines. The most recent Euros just gone. But I haven't watched enough of him to know that much about him. So I imagine Alisson Becker, although I think Alisson Becker is going into his... I think it could be his last like contract. I think he's got 1 year left in his deal. Maybe he'll get a new deal or not. I don't know. Yeah, but he'll be the starting goalkeeper next year. I mean, I know they've sold Kelleher, who's their backup goalkeeper. Now Mamardashvili's coming in. Alisson does have usually 2 or 3 months every season where he's out injured. He's quite injury prone as a goalkeeper. However, I still think he'll be the number 1 next season for Liverpool. Right back. Now, me personally, I would put Conor Bradley there. However, they've just signed Frimpong. He's got the Dutch link to Arne's slot. I can imagine £40 million they're going to spend on him. They've spent on him, sorry. I can imagine at least he'll get the chance at the start of the season to impress, to see what he's going to do. If he doesn't do well, then they'll probably put Bradley back in, ease Frimpong in. Maybe he could become a backup right wing, something across those lines. But yeah, I would say he'd probably be the starting right back on the opening day of the season against Bournemouth, which is, ironically against Bournemouth, which is Kerkez's former side. Left back will go obviously Kerkez. I mean, it's already starting to look at that. Look at the foundations being laid in this team, bro. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Kerkez is arguably he was one of the best left backs in the Premier League last season. They've just got him for 40 million. They've still got Andy Robertson, who obviously has, been touted for a move to Atletico Madrid, but he may end up staying. I can't lie, that's already looking nice. Van Dijk, of course, one of the best centre backs in Prem history. He signed a new deal. Unfortunately, I was hoping he was on his way to PSG, but he signed a new deal. Will he still stay there for another 2 years? Maybe he'll drop off a bit more with age and stuff like that. Maybe you'll see him have a bit of a worse season, get worse. That's what usually happens to footballers when they get older. But he's still a top defender. So yeah, I mean, and he'll carry that back line and his captaincy, his leadership, his stuff like that. He'll make everyone else comfortable. Now this one is the one I'm going to do. Obviously, Konate's got 1 year left in his deal. Now Liverpool have a choice here. Do they sell him this window? I imagine obviously they've still got time to try and get him to renew. But do they either said to him this window, we're going to sell you, or they try and ping him down to a new deal? Because he's rumoured to go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid rumoured to want him. And we know Real Madrid have just done that with Trent. They can't have another Trent Alexander-Arnold decision to make. They can't have another Trent Alexander-Arnold situation where they lose another £50, £60 million player for free. That's just bad for business. You know what I'm saying? So Ibrahim Konate, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna think he's gonna end up being. Maybe they might end up getting rid of him. I don't know. They just sold Kwanzaa. Yeah, so maybe Konate, they'll talk about it. Maybe you'll see the next month or so. I imagine Liverpool will learn from their mistakes with Trent. But for now, I'm gonna do Mark Gahey because the rumored that they're gonna move in for him and bid for him. I believe wrong. Crystal Palace rejected a £55 million plus 50 million add-ons in January for him, but he will be worth probably about 50 million now. He won't be worth 70 million because he's got 1 year left in his deal. So I imagine Liverpool will be able to keep. And Liverpool got good relations with football clubs, and they're good at negotiating down prices and stuff like that. Whereas Tottenham are just a desperate football club. So at the end of the day, and obviously Palace apparently reportedly have to sell him this summer. He's got 1 year left in his deal. They've already lined up a new replacement, Diamande from Sporting. He's the only club that's really been linked with him that's going to actually pay the money for him is Liverpool. We know he's been linked with Newcastle and Chelsea, but none of them, they've been linked with him for a year, and none of them want to pay that price. You know what I'm saying? The only team that's actually bidded for him is Tottenham. This guy, yeah, I mean, he's been linked with Bayern Munich. Man United should be after him. He could start for almost any team in the Premier League, and he could start for some European teams, top European teams as well. He's unreal. So if Konate does leave, if Konate stays, I think Gahey will be on the bench. And maybe that's one thing like a Newcastle or a Chelsea could offer him, saying like, you go to Liverpool, you're going to be on the bench. But what if Konate does leave? Then it opens, if Konate leaves and they get 30, 40 million for him, then it opens a new sort of door for someone like Mark Gahey to come in and be the starting centre-back for Liverpool. In the midfield, I think this one's pretty self-standard, I'll be honest. I don't care who they sign, bruv. You've got the two best midfielders, in my opinion, in the Premier League. The two best, the best six in the Premier League, in my opinion, in Gravenberch, and the best 8 in the Premier League, or the best all-round midfielder in Premier League. Like the most well-rounded midfielder in the Premier League is McAllister, and the best midfielder in the Premier League is Gravenberch. Not the best 6 in the Premier League is Gravenberch, and they're two of my top 3 probably in the Premier League, alongside likes of maybe Caicedo. That's about it. I think they're the best in the Premier League. They're absolutely unreal. And what's annoying is my club decided to raid Ajax when they had Ten Hag as the manager, and he raided all of his old players, but didn't sign the one player that was actually good. It's hilarious, isn't it? And McAllister was a player that Man City should looked at to replace Ilkay Gundogan. And I wanted at Manchester United the summer he went and said, we got Mason Mount. This guy is an absolute gem. 35 million. Brighton have scammed clubs over the years for overpricing their players. Yet this one, they let go on a gem who's probably worth 70, 80 million. Let's have it right. World Cup winner, Premier League winner now. You know what I'm saying? I think he won a League Cup as well with them. You know what I'm saying? He's just unreal, isn't he? He's just unreal. Yeah, for me, the two best midfielders in the Premier League, by far. Obviously, right wing, there's no explanation needed for this guy, is there? You know what I'm saying? It's Mo Salah. And, you know what I mean? It's like he just signed a new deal. 50 GA or whatever the fuck he got last season. Yeah, it's just peak, bruv. It's just peak. He probably get like 35 again next season. He won't get 40 something wherever he got last season. But yeah, now he's got the likes of Florian Wirtz. If he gets potentially Isak, if he gets another left, oh mate, yeah. Let's say about that better. Florian Wirtz, obviously in the 10. I actually didn't think they'd get this deal over the line. So fair play, they actually got this deal over the line. One of the best creators in the world. He was literally Man City's what they wanted to replace Kevin De Bruyne. Makes perfect sense. He's from the Bundesliga like De Bruyne was. He can score goals like De Bruyne. He can create goals like De Bruyne. And the likes of Mo Salah, it will take the burden off creativity of Mo Salah. But this Florian Wirtz deal, I tell you what, people think Frimpong is the replacement for Trent, but Frimpong is not the replacement for Trent. Florian Wirtz is the replacement for Trent. You cannot get a like-for-like replacement for Trent because Trent Alexander-Arnold does something that no other right-back on the planet can do. He is the best creator from the right-back position. How many right-backs can pass a ball the way Trent can? How many right-backs can create the way Trent can? Not many, if any. If any in the world can do it. And if they can, maybe you're looking at Hakimi and Reece James. 2 players who probably unattainable. Certainly Hakimi. And Reece James is probably unattainable as well for them. You know what I'm saying? Florian Wirtz, I can't lie. Listen, people want to talk about the price. I've already said it before. He's worth that money. He's worth that money. He may not be worth that money to Man United because we couldn't pay that. You know, I mean, we need to spend that money somewhere else. Same with Man City. They couldn't pay that one. You know what I'm saying? But to Liverpool, they only needed that 1 or 2. You know what I mean? The what's the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake sort of signing, and he's that. You know what I'm saying? So they can give him 200 bags a week and pay 100 million for him because they don't need to buy 4 or 5 players. And they've already got good finances. They just bought a left back now and a right back. And they'll probably go and get one more signing already this summer. It's looking peak. It's a great signing for them. It's a statement signing. They just won the Premier League and signed for Wirtz. It's a bit similar to when I know they didn't spend big on him, but when they won the Premier League last time and they bought Thiago, people were like, oh shit, they're going to win the league again. You know what I'm saying? They didn't end up, but of course. Now this is where it gets a bit confusing because I haven't seen them linked with any left winger. But for now, I'm going to go with Diaz or Gakpo. I'm going to go with Diaz because obviously Diaz was rumoured to go Barca, but Liverpool wanted 85 million for him. Barcelona ended up going with the cheaper option in Nico Williams instead. I believe that also had to do with Lamine Yamal wanted Nico Williams at Barcelona. So ultimately, Barcelona decided to not revoke their interest. So I doubt they'll come back in for him after they just spent big money on Nico Williams. So other than Saudi, it'll probably look like Diaz will stay. He had a decent-ish season last season. He started off quite well. Then he faded. Then he went back on form. Yeah, I mean, he had a decent-ish season. Decent-ish player, you know. Decent. He's just doing all right. He's just a steady Eddie, like a 7 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine Liverpool going into the left wing market if they don't sell one of Gakpo or Diaz, and I don't think they'll sell either. I think because of the Dutch link as well, I think they'll want to keep Diaz at the club and Gakpo at the club. And I think now that Barcelona have splashed that money on Nico Williams, I don't see anyone coming in for Luis Diaz. So I think they'll have Luis Diaz and Gakpo as their 2 left wings next season. But this is where the striker situation is looking peak. They've been linked with Ekitike, of course. We do know that. They've been linked with Ekitike. But they've also been linked with Alexander Isak. And if they get Alexander Isak, I'm hanging up my boots, mate. I'm throwing in the white towel, bruv. Do I think they'll get Isak? No. I don't think he'll leave Newcastle this summer. Maybe they'll get him next summer, but I don't think he'll leave Newcastle this summer. But if they sell Nunes, let's say they sell Nunes and Napoli are sniffing around Nunes. Let's say they sell Nunes and they get like, what, 50 million, 60 million for Nunes. They just got 30 million for Quansah. That's straight profit as well because it's academy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they could sell another player. I don't know. They're very good at selling players. They could end up having another 100 million to spend on Isak. Imagine they get 120 million pounds, 150 million pounds. They make him, stop going to training, kick up a fuss sort of thing. If that ever happens. It's looking peak, bruv. And the only other striker they've been linked with is Alvarez, which I don't think is going to happen again. I don't think Alvarez happens this summer. I don't see it happening this summer because he just joined Atletico for 90 million. So they're going to not want to sell him this summer. And then if you do, you're going to also have to pay 150 million. And I think Liverpool would rather go for Isak. Ekitike is another one they're looking at, but they don't want to pay the money for Ekitike. No one really wants to pay the money for him because he's a bit unproven. And I think looking at Isak, if it does happen, Isak's the only player I will say I don't think will happen. I don't think it will happen this summer. I think Gahey will probably end up there now. Now the rumours are looking strong. Obviously, they've already signed Kirkes, they've already signed Frimpong, they've already signed Salah. I think they could potentially get a left wing, but I don't know if Diaz will leave and stuff like that. And they might get another player in as well. But with Isak, I don't think that will actually happen. I think if Isak will leave next summer, in my personal opinion, whether he goes to Liverpool, whether he goes to Barcelona, he'll leave next summer. But yeah, that's how Liverpool could line up next season. It's looking fucking peak. You've got the best goalkeeper in the league. You've got, I don't really rate Frimpong as a right back personally, but Gahey and Van Dijk will probably be the best centre back partnership in the Premier League. They've already got that as well, and if they keep Penalty, anyways. Then you've got Kirkes, who's probably top 3 left backs in the league. Gravenberch and McAllister is the best pivot in the world, never mind the league. And yeah, the best 6 in the league and the best 8 in the league. You then arguably got the best 10 or the best creative player in the league. Just in him or Bruno or him or Palmer, whatever. They're all in that conversation. Mo Salah is arguably the best player in the league. Diaz, even though I don't really rate Diaz like that, he's still probably one of the best left wingers in the league because of how mid the left wing market is. And then Isak is probably, other than Haaland, the best striker in the league. And then they've got Arne Slot, who's proven Premier League winning manager. Yeah, it's looking real peak. God forbid this happens. Anyways, that's how Liverpool. Oh, fucking hell, mate. I wish that's the fucking dream. Imagine Man United lining up with this next season. That's how Liverpool could line up next season. Yeah, It's looking peak, bruv. I'm out, people. Peace.